I'm Allyson Pretty-Hopkins, and 3 years ago started Grand Love, a support group for grandparents raising grandchildren to provide them with education and support. A lot of our grandparents come to the group with the same background. Their children have become addicts. There are some grandparents raising their grandchildren out of neglect, but by and large, it is because of the opioid crisis. Their children have become addicts and can no longer be a parent.
I'm raising my grandson, Daniel. We got a phone call from my daughter. Both mother and child tested positive for narcotics. I didn't want my grandson to go into a foster home, so my husband and I brought him home with us, and he's been with us ever since.
We have 2 grandchildren. Joseph is 6 and Ryan is 5. When their mother got pregnant with Ryan, Ryan was born addicted. He was in the hospital for 3 weeks going through withdrawals.
When I brought Daniel home, I remember the first night, and I looked at him and I thought, my God, what did I do? Because I was 55 at the time.
When they come to this group, they're talking about how their whole dynamic has changed and how difficult that can be.
Yeah, it has changed our lives tremendously.
You know, this was never my plan for my life. This was never my idea to be 65 and ready to retire and have toddlers. This environment provides them that safe place to talk about that.
Raising Daniel, because he has some difficulties and such, that was a major challenge.
Very often they're not getting healthy children. Most of these children have some level of special need. Very often it's from trauma, it's from prenatal exposure to drugs and alcohol, it's from abuse.
Their normal is never going to be normal. They're always going to have problems.
There was a grandparent that said, I know a lot of women that have 5-year-old children, but I don't know a lot of 60-year-old women with 5-year-old children.
It's not as easy to be my age and to be running around trying to do all these things for someone.
These kids are energetic and they want to play. Yay. It's difficult when you're doing that in a home with a 65-year-old or older grandparent.
They are very active. I'm exhausted all the time. But, you know, you do what you have to do. It doesn't matter how tired you are, nor does it matter how sick you feel. You have to keep going anyway because they need you.
And the financial impact is huge. They're selling off properties and, you know, giving up retirement and going back to work, but they're depleting their own resources at their own expense.
Financially, it was a rude awakening when we brought Daniel home because we weren't prepared for the cost. We weren't able to retire as a couple.
At this point in our lives, we never expected to be as financially strapped as we are and didn't realize how much we were going to worry about retirement because we cannot fund our retirement. It's a sad situation and it's becoming so common. I think the biggest problem is that people just, they don't understand. They don't understand the situation unless they're in it.
The preceding program was presented by Battling Opioids, a project of Pennsylvania Public Media.